guys, welcome to our YouTube channel, Philippine Family Life with Leah.
And Gary.
Today, yes, welcome to this conversation. And today's topic or today's conversation, we're gonna talk about the foreigners that are senior citizen that are planning to retire here in the Philippines.
Senior citizens.
Yes, like you. Yeah, you're senior citizen.
Just.
Yep. Are they too old, or is it good for them to start a family and have kids? Because there are some foreigners that actually asking Gary your advice if...
Yeah, some people ask me about having a child at this age, you know. Sometimes they may be or getting into a relationship with a younger girl that wants children, and maybe they're not sure, should I have children or not? You know, I've done this before, I'm not sure I want to do it again. It's a big decision, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, my advice is always, what's in your heart? Do you really want to have children? You know, if you're doing it just because the girl wants a child, then I don't think that's a very good idea.
No, it's a big decision. You gotta have to think about it.
Yeah. So it starts with, if you're coming out here and wanting to live, you know, move here, retire here, and find someone to have a relationship with, this is something that should be discussed from the beginning. It's really important to you know, especially when, you know, you're a senior citizen.
Senior citizen.
If you're a senior citizen and you're dating or choosing to date someone young, even you know, early 20s, mid 20s, the chances are at that age they either want children because they've had none yet, or they've already had one child or maybe two and they still want more.
Yeah.
Right? Because Philippines like big families.
I think that's the consequences that you had to accept if you're going to date a younger girl.
But I don't like to call it consequences because I don't think you should accept it if you don't want it.
You should. That's why it's very important to discuss it before you get to a serious relationship.
It's very important. And you know, we know of situations where older senior citizens have got into serious relationships with younger girls who we know want children, but they're just like, not all of them, but some had actually. Well, I'm sorry, you want to be with me? This is what you get. I'm not having children. I've done this. I've done it, and kind of put that pressure on them to either, you know, say, if you're going to be with me, sorry, no children. That's the way it is.
Yeah, I think it is a little selfish for men.
I think it's really selfish because, you know, sometimes they're thinking of their own happiness, and you know, they just want their pretty young girl to spend their retirement with, and not really caring enough about what the girl wants.
Yeah, girl needs. And you know, if they are old already, like think about that, if they gone or if he die, so the girl would end up lonely, like she would be too old again to start having kids, right? If she
it is a good point, because, you know, as it's been discussed on many videos with age gap relationships and everything, the probability is an older man in his 60s is going to, with a young girl in her 20s, is going to pass a lot sooner than her, and she's still going to probably be relatively young.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that if you've kind of put that girl in a position where she doesn't have children because she wants to be with you, and that's great, you might enjoy the time together, and then you pass on, and what have you left? You've left your poor girl. Maybe she's financially okay, but she doesn't have any children, and she's going to have that regret and that sadness that she never had what she really wanted.
Yeah. And as we already talking about this, you want to share about you actually have an experience before with your past relationship that you actually end up breaking up with a girl because of that reason.
I did, and here's the mistake I made, which I encourage you not to make, is I got into a relationship when I first went to China. And it was a very, very good relationship. We fell in love, and we didn't really discuss things like children or families or marriage. It was at least a year before it came up, and I was 50 at the time. I wasn't a senior citizen yet.
Yeah, you're young at that time.
Young man.
Wow.
And I think she was actually in her mid-20s at the time. Anyway, so of course, after a year, when we finally did sit and have a serious discussion about this, I realized how much she did want to have a family, how important, how it was very, very important to her. And at the time, here I am with a little kid now.
Yeah, I know.
Here I am. But at the time, I really didn't want children, and especially in China, because there would have been a lot more complications
Yeah, I'm
having a child in China.
Yeah.
But it was not something I was wanting, and I just it wasn't going to happen. So I had to make the decision at the time, even though we loved each other and everything. I realized there's no way I'm going to be the one that's going to deprive this girl of a family and the things that she wants and children. It's just I just couldn't do that. So I told her that, you know, we need to go our separate ways. I said, you need to find someone that wants a family, you know, so you can have your dreams, have children, get married. And she realized that that's important to her, and she agreed. She said, as painful as it was,
I'm sure.
we made that decision. So it's important to have this conversation much earlier in relationship, because, you know, if you have completely different goals, you know, then it's easier to walk away.
But if you already fall in love, and I'm so proud of you doing that, but because some men won't do that.
No. Some men are actually quite selfish, where they really just care about having a young, pretty girl. You know, maybe they think they got money and they can take care of her, that she should be satisfied with that, and that's good enough. But they just don't want to deal with children, and it's like give them the ultimatum sometimes. Like, well, if you want to be with me, we're not having children.
Yeah. So let's go back to your topic. I told you about your ex. She's now happily married with children.
Well, there you go. I mean, this was 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe, yeah, about 10, 11 years ago. And it was only, I think it was only 2-3 years after we broke up. She met a Chinese man. They got married. They had their first baby, and now they've had a second baby. And she's happily married with 2 children.
Yeah.
And if I hadn't
Pursuing
made that
her or
decision,
pushing her.
yeah, if I hadn't done this, she wouldn't have this now. And
I'm
I wouldn't
sure.
have met you either.
That's right.
So it's all worked out quite well.
Yeah, that's really true.
So anyway, so please, guys, if you're going to get into relationships with younger Filipinos, have this conversation. And also, even if you're not going to have your own biological children, you may be inheriting her children. So, you know, if you are going to get involved with someone's children, you've got to be prepared to take on the fatherly role.
That's really true. I agree on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's the answer here? If you don't want children, and you come out here and you just want to have a peaceful retirement, go scuba diving, hiking, sitting on the beach, going to Ground Zero.
Yeah.
If you want to do all that, then and you want a relationship, find a partner that's already had enough kids, or maybe they've had a couple and they tell you, no, I do not want more kids, and you know they don't want any more, or maybe they've just don't want kids, but that's pretty rare.
Like I have a same goal with you, like you. So it's really important.
All right, honey, where were
let's
you?
continue. Okay, so let's talk about us, because when we get into a relationship, we actually have this kind of conversation. You actually told me that you don't want to
Yes.
have any more
Well, because I
children.
had the experience, so I was very clear that I didn't want more children, and you had a child, and you indicated that you were okay not to have children.
Yeah, that's
So you
correct.
lied again.
That's
First your
correct.
age, then about you. What else did you lie about?
That's correct. I actually, well, I already had blessed, and it was not really a big deal. But deep inside, I still want to have more, because I'm still young, and you have a good genes. I want
I
to
do.
have children with you. So, I told you now it's not a big deal. It's okay. But deep inside, I really want to have. But I already fall in love with you, so I'm kinda. But yeah, after 4 months, I get pregnant.
Yeah, was it 4 months?
4 months, yeah.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, you did. That was a shock and a miracle and a surprise. It was really okay. I was on medication for many years, and I actually stopped. Was it just when I met you? Actually, another one of my amazing stories about when I gave my heart to Jesus. But many things just started happening, even my health started improving, and I actually stopped taking medication.
Yeah.
And I guess I didn't realize that my body started repairing itself and functioning better than it used to
I know.
before the medication. And much to my surprise, you got pregnant, even though we were still trying to be careful.
Yeah.
It, you know, on the off chance that it would happen. I mean, I wasn't trying to have a baby.
No, no.
I wasn't. Anyway, it happened, and I was kind of shocked.
Yeah, we
And
both shocked.
Yeah, and I don't think I was particularly happy. It wasn't like when you.
No,
when
Gary, I don't like Gary's reaction.
Wait a minute. I can't believe what she did. She waited till I was in USA.
No, I did not
Yes,
wait.
she did. Okay, okay. You may not have waited, but you chose to share with me while I was in USA.
Well, I like to play with pregnancy test because I don't expect I would be pregnant. I was like only late or delayed with my period for like a week. I can't believe. Yeah, it was not. I was really unexpected. So
Yeah, it was. And by the way, let me share this kind of funny story because it was only a couple of months earlier that we had a scare. I think because you know you.
oh yeah, Taro.
And so what does she do for her little humor? She gets a fake pregnancy test or a pregnancy test that had the line on it. You remember? I said, "Where'd you get that one from?" I can't remember now. Was it somebody?
From a friend. Yeah.
An old one or something, right? And so she shows me this pregnancy test that shows she's pregnant, and I was like, no way. And so I went through the shock on a joke.
Yeah, so next time, Gary, you almost doesn't want to believe me.
No,
yeah,
I didn't believe you.
Gary
Of course
didn't
I
believe
didn't.
me. When he came back from USA, he tried like 3 pregnancy tests, the very expensive one.
I got the good ones because
Yeah.
I didn't believe her because she played cry wolf, whatever the thing is. But you played that joke on me, and yeah. So the next time
You didn't believe
I didn't
me.
believe you at first, but that's when you chose to. But you really were pregnant, and that's
Yeah.
when you chose to share with me, you know, over a video call.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
So.
yeah, it's turned out a big blessing. We're
Oh
very.
my goodness! It's been the greatest blessing I could ever have imagined. It's been
Yeah.
an incredible experience, and
It was a girl. Gary has been dreaming to have a girl. So.
You know, when you did get pregnant, because I had 2 boys in California a long time ago, and I always used to about deep in your heart that you wanted more children. Deep in my heart, I always kind of wanted a little girl.
Oh, really?
I did. I really did. And
I still have this in my head to have a boy.
please, not on camera. Don't scare me like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you were happy that
No, but
it's a girl.
so when I found out you were pregnant, my next when that sunk in, then I was on my knees praying, oh God, please, if this is going to happen, please make it a girl. I really want a little girl. And do you remember the time we went to the ultrasound when they said it was going to be a girl?
Yeah, Gary's reaction, I was laughing.
Did I
Are you
cry?
sure? Yeah.
I think I had
Gary
tears.
cried, and he was keep asking about the doctor. Is it 100% like
Are you
that?
sure? Are you sure?
Yeah, and he was not sure 100%. She wasn't so sure. So the next time, he was so happy. Yeah. So yeah, it turns out
so,
good.
yes, turned out wonderful. So
Yes, I'm blessed. Is very happy that she had a sister. They both happy and good for everyone.
yeah. It's been just wonderful. It really has. So anyway, going back to topic,
How's your experience having children at your age?
it's
It's not difficult, or is it?
okay.
It's
I have a
easy?
pretty active lifestyle. I do a lot. I'm still working. I like to go to the gym. I've got the Bible studies and people that I meet. So I have a pretty active life, and so I fit in a lot of time in between that for the children too. And I do find it drains me of energy a little bit.
Yeah, I think I already spent too much time with Gracie, with the kids.
But
Yeah.
you know, like we were talking about before, I spent, when I first had my boys in California, I was working full time. So I would be gone all day, and it went from about 7 in the morning till 6 at night every day. So I didn't get to spend a lot of time with my boys. I mean, as they got older, I did, but when they were little, not so much. I was gone all day, and that was the wife that was taking care of them. So I didn't get to experience what I experience now, where I'm spending like literally hours a day, and I do every day. I'm spending at least 2 hours, 3 hours a day
Yeah, I know.
playing with the kids. I mean, Gracie every morning she wants to only play with me. She likes to play dollies.
Dallas, yeah.
Yeah, dollies.
If
When she
Gary's around, she wants to play with Gary, but if Gary's not around, only me. So
Yeah. So
you are the first choice.
yeah. So I you know, is it because I'm older that I have lack of energy? Maybe
Maybe
that's a
so, a
little
little
bit.
bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've noticed
Well,
that.
I don't think it's clear that when you're in your 20s, 30s, you have more energies than when you're in your 60s. I mean,
Yeah, but compared to like other father, like younger father, Gary is is a good father. And by the way,
I
yesterday it was a Father's Day, so yeah,
yeah, no, that's right. Good topic for the
yeah,
day after Father's Day.
yeah.
Yeah, it's Father's Day in US right now.
Yeah, right now today. So happy Father's Day to all the
Then again,
wonderful father out there. I don't know when I'm gonna upload this, but
okay, so maybe it was last week Father's
yeah, I
Day.
know, I know. So, all right. So to answer to that question, it's really not a big deal for the age, like
No,
because you're old.
no, and for those, I get occasionally people making comments about, well, you're being selfish having a child at an old age because you might not be around long. Then you're going to leave the mother with a child raised by herself. You know.
I know. I get the comment a lot, attacking Gary about it, and it's not. You know, it's not about the age. I mean, look at my first boyfriend, the blessed father. He died 21 years old. It's not about the
Well,
age.
no, it's not. And you know, I plan on being around until my child grows to adult anyway, or I'm going to at least die trying. But I do plan on being around, and I don't see any reason why I won't be.
Yeah.
You know, of course, things happen and could happen, but you can't live your life that way.
Yeah,
You
I
can't
know.
live your life with negative thoughts or not
Of
doing
course.
something because this might happen or that might
Yeah.
happen.
Just enjoy your time with your kids. Enjoy the moment. Yeah.
No,
And
absolutely. And we gave well, when I was talking to you earlier, I was talking about a friend of mine who's in his mid 70s that has a teenage daughter. So he obviously
yeah,
had
I
her
know.
about when I had Gracie.
yeah, same age.
And you know, he's still actively involved in his daughter's life. I mean,
Yeah.
she's 16 now, but he has moved out here. But she's a beautiful young girl and happy. And
She loves her
I mean-
father so much.
I mean, ask her, is she happy that her father decided to have a child?
yeah, I know,
I'm pretty
right?
sure that she's happy that she's alive.
Yeah, I know.
So I think there might come a point where you do get too old. I mean, if you're like 85 years old,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It
I
happens.
don't recommend it. Yeah, but yeah.
No, I think that might be. That's not being realistic. If you're really kind of not in good shape or you have health problems, you're older, maybe that's not a good idea.
Yeah, because
In
you
fact-
have to run around with the kids. I don't think you're
Yeah.
capable to
In
do
fact,
that.
bringing that up as talking off the cuff here, is that's another good reason not to have a child. If you are an older man that's got health issues
Yeah.
and problems, you don't want to become a burden on the girlfriend you're with or wife you're with and have children. That
It
would
would be so difficult.
Yeah, so I think that if you're older and you're thinking of having children, I think you've got to be in reasonable health to be able to handle it and not be a concern for other people.
Yeah.
That's important, don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so any other thoughts on this
Just
subject?
follow your heart. If you want to have children, if if you're in the right, there's nothing really, as long as you're capable to taking care of the children, to support her, I think it's really okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
So,
agree. So in summary, honey, the things I think I want people to get out of this video is, number one, is to have a conversation with your girlfriend.
Very
or,
important.
you know, hopefully they're not your wife at this point because you should have already had this discussion
yeah.
by then. But when you first get into a relationship, especially if it's someone young, please find out what the girl really wants. And they might not always be honest with you
yeah,
at first.
I know.
They might, so you really have to dig deep to find out, because I think it's just the most selfish, horrible thing in the world to deprive your girl of a family,
That's
if that's what she wants. So please have those conversations. Number two, if you don't want children, be careful who you get into a relationship with. You know, choose someone older or someone that's already had
Have the same
had
goal.
their kids. Yeah, have the same goals. That's so important for you. But because it's a relationship's two people, you've got to care about each other and each other's feelings.
yeah, that's true.
All right. Also, make sure if you're choosing to have children at this time in life, make sure you're in reasonable health. You don't want to have to have everybody taking care of you and a baby at the same time.
It would be so difficult for your girl.
Yeah, yeah, and I won't put an age limit on how old you should be, but I think that there is a point. I mean, if you're really really old, like 80s.
It depends
I
on your.
know.
It depends on how fit you are, like how you, like active you are.
I
When it
I
comes to
think-
Gary, you're active.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, being active, but there is a point where it's too old.
yeah, I
Is
know.
my point, and
Yeah.
I don't know what that number is. I think those people would
People
know.
knows, and you know, share some of your opinions, some of your thoughts about this topic, right? Share in the comment section, and we'll be happy to read it.
Yeah, and if you are concerned about whether it'll be a good thing, and if you're in your 60s and you're thinking about having children and you're a little concerned, take it from me and my experience. It can be the absolute most wonderful, greatest blessing you could ever have dreamed of. And in my case, it has been. And I think it could be for you too, if that's what you want. So don't be afraid to have
Yeah.
children in your 60s.
Follow your
if
hearts.
that's what your heart wants.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, honey, for joining me in this conversation.
It's an important conversation.
Yeah, I
Listen,
know. And happy Father's Day, but again, yeah.
from last week or
Yeah.
yesterday. Or
Yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna upload it, but anyways, thank you so much, guys, for joining us till the end. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye.
Goodbye. Any idea if it's good or not? So you have to watch it. Decide. I've got to go to a gym.